So let me start this over again. Thank you for stopping out to our Sunday night live stream. I apologize for audio issues. I'm an idiot. It was my fault. I apologize. As you can see, Justin is back. We are back in the tattoo shop. We have a great show lined up for everybody. I'm pissed off right now for audio issues, but you know, hey, what are you going to do, right? It's live. Shit happens. I can get rid of my subscriber scroll audio issues, hold please, since we look like we have that fixed. And we got some cool stuff to talk about tonight. A really cool article that came out this week that we're going to touch base on and we're going to discuss. Pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's a shitty topic.
Really shitty topic, but you know what? We got some cool data to back up what we're talking about, and I think it's going to be interesting for
We're
a lot of...
actually going to do some baking.
Yeah, man. But...
Social Distortion was great. Just to start off for everybody, it was a great show. If you get a chance to see the Social Distortion Bad Religion tour, I absolutely suggest you do. Mike Ness is not the dick that he was when he was younger.
I am really stoked about doing the show in September.
Yes.
I think that's when it is, dude. I keep talking about it, and I don't even know when it is. Yeah, you said he was holding back a little bit because of the vocals and whatnot.
Right, because of the...
I mean, you know, look, he's still, only a year out or a year and a half out
Months.
from getting throat surgery for cancer. I mean, dude, I know that there's been artists in the past that have had polyps that really, it took him years to overcome. So the fact that he's actually touring right now blows my mind. I mean, when they re-announced that they were coming back out on the road, I had thought originally that they refunded our tickets because it had been that long. And we got a thing saying, yeah, man, your tickets are still good. So I'm freaking amped to see that show, dude. That's a checklist band for me. I just want to give a personal quick talk with you guys. Anybody that's out there as a subscriber, you know, I apologize for not getting anything out this week. It's been pretty trying for me. Going through some health issues with my mom. I know I don't normally talk about personal stuff on here, but my mom is super, super sick. And unfortunately, it's been taking a lot of my time away from being able to research, shoot, edit. But I will tell you that I finished a script last night. And I think you guys are really going to dig the video when it's out. It's another history video, and it's on a pretty well-known West Coast tattoo artist. So look for that, I would say, the end of this week. So apologize. You know, I've been trying to get a video out each week for everyone, so we can keep the channel rolling and keep it going. We're doing really good, and I just wanted to say I am sorry. I apologize. We're going to get back on the horse ASAP. So that's where we're at with the channel right now. The whole audio thing totally threw my game off tonight, man. Let's. You want to jump into the article?
I would absolutely like to jump into the article.
I think it's a pretty cool discussion that we could have with this. It's a shitty topic, but I think it's a topic that we need to talk about because there's some implications with this that could go beyond this actual case, and I think it's something that we should bring up. So let's go ahead and bring this up. I'm going to switch views real quick. Hopefully we don't lose audio or video because, you know, that would be the freaking case. All right, here we go.
So this was meant to be a mandala flower piece. Basically an inverted triangle, like a lotus mandala flower piece.
Yeah.
On a woman's thigh, fairly large piece. Maybe seemed to be about 8 or 10 inches in diameter.
Yeah, it's about the size of a dinner plate. We're going to actually show you a little. I won't play the whole video, so this way we don't get dinged for, copyright BS. But so basically, it's as you can see in the title, there is a Las Vegas tourist from Canada that went to get a tattoo at a tattoo shop that we're not going to name because I don't want to get involved with that. And basically, this lady is saying that she went to the shop, her and her son both got tattooed, her son got tattooed by a different artist, got done, and walked in while she was getting her and basically saw the tattoo and was like in horror. And as you can see on the screen, I mean, you really can't even make out what that is. That is pretty bad. There's a bunch of different angles we're going to take with this, but initially when you and I came up with this for the show tonight, it almost started out as a conversation of, does somebody have the right to sue a tattoo shop for a bad tattoo? Because on a high level, that's kind of what this looks like. But in reality, as you dig deeper into this, that's what this is. This is not about that. This is about something completely different. So let's give you a little bit more backstory, just so this way we're all on the same page. I'm going to actually bring up the article so I can kind of dig into this. So from what I'm trying to block the tattoo shop's name. So what they're saying is that this tattoo artist was inebriated, sweating, just acting weird, and for all intents and purposes gave a tattoo that looks like a child.
Is there a photo in there of the stencil, like there was in the one article? There. So if you see the stencil over to the right of the screen,
this right here, folks.
Yeah, it really gives you a better idea of
what it was supposed to look like.
Yeah. And you can actually, if you look at the tattoo that he did, you can sort of see it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like he may have started out on the right foot and then it went south. Like, I don't know if he was...
Well, sometimes drugs take a minute to take effect.
Right, or, took a break and decided to go get, banged up in the back room or what. But, I mean, from what you can see, it does look like it actually started out on the right foot and then it just went south. I'm also seeing this here for the first time. Does that look like that's like some kind of infection or something? Gouge that happened?
I don't know.
All right, well, I don't want to put more on to this person as it is, but so for you people out there in internet land, do you feel as though it's right that somebody is suing somebody for a bad tattoo? Take out the other parts of this equation: drunk or inebriated tattoo artist, yada yada yada, right? So on face level, I think all of us would agree no. If you agreed to the draw up, the stencil, you did your research on the artist, you saw the artist, that's what their work looks like, and it still doesn't look like what you thought or whatever, I don't see that's any grounds at all for suing somebody.
So when the computer-generated art first came out, especially when people came in and wanted stuff from video games, back before they were as realistic as they are now, it was a conversation that I had to have with clients where I was like, the image that you're bringing me is from digital media. And while I can replicate the image using ink and tattoo machines, it's not necessarily going to look like it does on your computer screen, because your skin and tattoo ink are not digital media. And to try to explain that to people. So back in the day, when on most releases there was a caveat, there was a part of the release on there that said you acknowledge and you understand that if you're bringing me an oil painting, I can transpose the image to the medium of tattooing, but I won't necessarily be able to make it look like an oil painting.
Right. Well, and I think that kind of goes with what we talked about 2 weeks ago, where we brought up the tattoo truth fairy,
right,
where people were kind of doctoring pictures and stuff like that, and setting these crazy expectations of, the tattoo should look exactly like this picture. Before we go any further, I just want to say what's up, Drag, what's up, Calzone, hey Nikki. Thank you all for stopping in tonight, and guys, make sure you smash that like button for us, so this way it pushes it out to more people. Sorry, had to get rid of business, man.
All right.
I mean to cut you off.
No. I mean, it was just. Sometimes it's hard to explain to clients that it's a medium. It's ink and it's skin.
Yeah.
It's a separate medium.
There's also going to be instances where people's skin are different and stuff like that. And matter of fact, on the one guy that I was doing the research, was saying about going to conventions and having people that were actually hunting him down to say they got a tattoo by so and so, and they would hit him up at the bar while they were at the end of the night drinking or whatever, and he would be like, yeah, no problem. And then he would realize that the next day he's all hungover, he shows up, and the dude is like trying to get this little tiny tattoo on his ass cheek that's like the size of a postage stamp. And he's like, so not only are you giving me this little tiny spot to do a tattoo, but you're giving me the worst skin ever.
Right.
And I was like, huh. I didn't even really think about that being like, certain areas I know obviously certain areas are like under your arm the skin's thinner, it's a little bit more sensitive, but like, your hands obviously, right? The tattoo will fall out quicker because it's not really going to go in.
I love tattooing people that are super tanned, that spend a lot of time out in the sun. Your roofers, your guys that work with asphalt, just burnt, people that are just burnt to a crisp and have never taken care of their skin in their life. They are the best.
Yeah, well, you get a lot of that with roofers and, bikers and, we're notorious for being out in the sun.
Yeah, people don't realize that, like the difference between, even with age. But,
okay.
But even with that being said about, not being able to reproduce the media, like this is
beyond that, and we're going to get into that.
Yeah,
I just wanted to pose that as a question for everybody in the audience first, just for shits and giggles, so to speak, because again, I think that when we first saw this, we almost kind of didn't want to bring it up because it was almost this whole, does it set a precedent of so Sarah, thank you for the love about my mom, much appreciated. Sarah just said people aren't perfect, so errors happen, and I don't think that warrants being sued, right? That's why you sign a waiver. What it sounds like happened here is a whole different or other matter, though. Oh my God! And then Calzone just said, "Have you ever tattooed someone's butt and been farted on?"
No comment. No comment.
Yeah, man.
I had a guy piss himself one time.
That's like being on an airplane and you're all just like chilling and you're trying to enjoy your flight, and all of a sudden you get smacked in the face by somebody busting ass, dude. It's the worst.
It is the worst.
It's like, somebody's got like bad breath ass.
So when we were looking at because Buck and I looked at the Nevada state health regulations as far as tattooing is concerned.
Yeah, let me bring that up.
And I worked in New Jersey for a decade, and decade's very similar to Nevada in that it's really, really laid out and it's stringent. I mean, some states are way more lax when it comes to tattooing. Nevada is not one of them.
So we're gonna go back to this document in a second. I wanted to get back to the article real quick so we know all the details behind it. So according to this lawsuit, they're saying that not only was the tattoo artist inebriated, there was some health concerns, and then there was also the fact that the tattoo artist did not have a body art card, which is mandatory in the state of Nevada. The artist or the female also did not sign a waiver. So the no card and waiver thing right off the bat are huge, 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 huge. I don't see this lady losing this case.
Not at all.
So those are some of the details. Again, I'm trying not to really talk about the tattoo shop because it's not fair. They're not here to defend themselves, and I don't want to get involved with that. So let's just jump into this document real quick, which basically lays out each and every rule that a tattoo shop in the state of Nevada must follow. As Justin just said, New Jersey is pretty stringent, and from looking at this, Justin and I did a quick peruse through this, and Nevada looks like it's no joke, dude. So, the first one that I highlighted, which is on the screen right now, body artists must not perform body art procedures while under the influence of an intoxicating substance, including, without limitation, alcohol or cannabis. Alcoholic beverages are not permitted in the workstation. Evidence that the body artist is applying body art while inebriated is sufficient cause or for summary suspension and possible revocation of the body art card. So right there...
No ripid bong hits in the booth.
Right. No banging rails in the bathroom. Those days are over, folks.
Those days are over, folks.
The old days of the tattoo shop hootenanny is done.
Close the curtains.
So it goes further down, and we're not going to go through this whole thing because it would be one boring-ass live stream. But there was another one that I thought was poignant that we wanted to highlight real quick. Permit holders' joint responsibility. And this is in reference to the body art card, which they're saying they could revoke if they found out that the person was inebriated, intoxicated, had booze, blah, blah, blah. The permit holder has joint responsibility for the body artist in ensuring that each individual they hire or consent to take as an apprentice obtains a body art card. We already know that they did not have one for this person. In accordance with these regulations, allowing individuals to practice as a body artist within a body art establishment without a valid body art card is grounds for enforcement action up to and including suspension of the health permit for the body art establishment. Now, as far as the tattoo artist, and we're going to scroll so you could just see the picture again because I think that's going to hammer home the whole story. From my understanding, the shop, after this happened, went out of their way to beg the person not to bring it up, not to publicize it, offered them free laser removal of the tattoo, and a whole slew of other things that he tried to, squash it and put it under the rug. So,
and it's interesting to say that the free laser removal, I think, was written on a napkin in pen. Do you know what I mean? Like, just, well, I'll give you free razor. I'll give you free laser removal. Not the most professional approach. Do you know what I mean? Just something like written on the back of a fucking envelope. I mean, you see, I'm a shop owner, and so if my artist does that, I'm responsible for that.
Right.
That's my everything. Every tattoo that comes out of this place is on me. Regardless, regardless of who does it. I don't know. I mean, we're not disrespecting the shop. We're not naming them or anything. But I put some of this on the shop owner, man.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I had a guy work here one time. Guy comes in, well-established 25-year-old guy. You were around for it.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was here, and on his first day, he fell out of the fucking chair. He hadn't tattooed anybody, right? So we're just all hanging around. It was during the winter time. My man falls out of the chair, and I was like, you appear to be loaded, homie.
You need to go home.
And you need to go home.
Yep.
Right?
Fair warning.
Yeah.
And then...
Because as a tattoo shop owner, if people work for me, it's not my responsibility what they do on their own time.
Right. You're not here to babysit.
Right.
And you're not here to be controlling of somebody else's lifestyle.
And I mean, I'm 100% clean and sober.
Right.
But I can't demand that of other people that work for me in a professional sense. That's not fair. I can't demand what they do with their personal lives.
Right.
And, but this, I mean...
So Sarah said, That document's huge. Where I live, all you need is one person in the shop to have a bloodborne pathogens certificate and follow the basic health codes. So there you go. You can see where this deviates from
State to
state, and from one end of the spectrum to the other. You go from, well, Sarah's from Canada, so...
Where there's freedom. I mean...
I just completely stumbled because I almost said something. I'm like, yeah. But you can see, though, so this is obviously something that's not... And just so everybody knows out there, anybody that's watching that's a tattoo artist, Justin and I are not for any overall, like regulation, national regulation. There's a big push for that going on. It's almost like a union kind of thing. Neither one of us are for that.
No.
But there needs to be definite clear ground rules to protect the clientele and also the shop and the shop owners.
So what happened, for instance, in New Jersey is that when the state decided they were going to regulate, they went to the APT, the Alliance of Professional Tattooists. Mm-hmm. And I think I forget who was the guy that was kind of spearheaded that for the tattooers. He was deeply involved in putting the code together. And, so it's stringent. It's really stringent.
Another point that I want to hammer home with this is, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, but doing your research on your tattoo artist. Me personally, I'm not going to go on vacation and just on a whim go get a tattoo from somebody.
So that was in the article, and maybe you missed that part.
I maybe did.
Her whole thing was the shop had a high Yelp rating. That's why they chose that shop.
Yelp ratings. She did do her research, okay, but you know what? Yelp ratings are bullshit. Google ratings are bullshit, because you can go out there and you can buy good Google ratings. You can buy good Yelp. Yeah, dude. There's bots that'll do that. You can go out there and spend money. You don't need that shit, dude. But the other part of that, though, is there's also bots that'll do the negative as well.
Yeah.
Well, they'll go in there and
there's always
spam
trolls.
Your stuff and make bad, comments, bad, what's the word I'm looking for? God damn it. Reviews, thank you.
When I first started this place, right, at Endsville Tattoo, I go to buy Endsville.com, and I find that one of my direct competitors has already bought it, and he bought it like 48 hours before I did. And then he set up Endsville.com, EndsvilleTattoo.com, to reroute back to his shop's website, right? And really,
Slimy.
You just gotta respect the gangster on that one.
That's slimy,
you know what I mean?
Dude.
I don't know.
You know what, though?
I admired it a little bit.
So I'm not talking about that dude in general, but there are companies that do that, where they will find a hot new product, and they'll go out there and they'll buy up all the web addresses that they can that are, even if it's not the exact one, they'll buy the ones that are around it, like Endsville 13 or Endsville 1, you know what I mean? Like, and what they do is, excuse me, sorry, I swig soda like a dumbass, dude. I don't know why I continue to do that. Anyway, they go and they do that, so this way you have to go and now you got to pay them to get the web domain off of them.
Right.
Do you know that they actually do that in the music business? And so, pre-internet days, you would try to get a band name, right? And you would do whatever research you could. You would do like Billboard magazines and all that other stuff, right? Like, there's industry literature where it would have band names and whatnot. But sometimes, even in this day and age with the internet, it happens where somebody will have a band that maybe was around in the 90s and it really didn't do anything, and now there's this new band in 2024 and they pick the same name. Back in the day when I was doing sound for a band in Philly, they had a name and they got signed and they wanted to continue to use that name. And they found that there was a polka band in like Sheboygan, Wisconsin
Sheboygan's rocking.
with the same name. So the record label actually offered them like $15,000 to buy the name off of them. And the polka band was like, F you, dude, no way. We've been da-da-da for 20-something years. We're not changing our name. So, interesting enough. Little tidbit of information that you probably didn't need, but I had.
So back to the
Yeah, I'm getting sidetracked, dude.
because I have a story about Men at Work.
My brain
band.
is just completely mush, man. I'm
My brain's always mush.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. So anyway, as you can see, horrible tattoo. I wanted to bring this up because again, the whole precedent thing, it's almost like the Kat Von D thing, that we were talking about that for like a month as that was going down. You know, if that would have went the other way, that could have really impacted a lot of tattoo artists. Because there are tattoo artists right now that are making a living off of horror stuff. And all their horror tattoos are 100%, you know, the character. So they would have been screwed.
Not to mention, somebody finds something on Pinterest. They do a screenshot on their phone. They come in, do this tattoo for me.
Right.
I mean,
you don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
There's no backstory or whatever.
But if there were.
So that whole case, whether you agreed with it or not, or you liked Kat Von D or not, that had a huge impact on tattooing from the verdict of that going forward. So thankfully it went the right way, but
so the question that we were talking about was, will this become a situation where plausibly clients can sue their tattoo artists for not liking their tattoos? I mean, obviously, it's way more extreme in this particular case. That's well beyond I didn't like the tattoo. But is this like the kernel, right, the seed of that kind of legal action in the industry, especially with the way people are now? Like when I first started, if a guy didn't like your tattoo, he might punch you in the mouth or try to punch you in the mouth or whatever. There was probably going to be something along those lines. But given the environment of tattooing now, I mean, is that what's next? And how do tattooers protect themselves from that, from disgruntled clients? Because there are people that you can't please.
Right. There's always going to be people out there that no matter what you do, it's, you know.
And an interesting thing, Buck, in the tattoo shop and the other tattooers, I would appreciate it if you'd weigh in on this. A guy will come in and say, Just, I got $1,000. I love your work. Do what you want on me. Give me freedom. You know, do a big, beautiful piece on him.
Right.
Somebody else will come in with the shop minimum and micromanage the fucking tattoo to where it's painful to do. And it's always like that. Like people that, like the stingiest motherfuckers are the most demanding. It's incredible.
You know, there was Tattoo Tony actually just posted a picture, and it was almost on the same lines as the Tattoo Truth Fairy thing, right? So he had a client walk into his shop, and he had what the tattoo looks like now in 2024. But he had, the client actually had the original picture of what it looked like the day it was done. And it was a perfect example of railroading the tattoo artist who said, now Tony didn't do this tattoo, by the way. Let me preface this. I don't want, you know, somebody thinking Tony did a shitty tattoo. This was somebody else. It came into him as a, can you fix this for me?
Right.
It was almost the same type of tattoo where it was that kind of Mandela looking thing.
The new tramp stamps.
And the tattoo artist apparently told this guy or girl that, look, there's way too much detail in this little bit of space. So it happened in 2007, and now it's 2024. And now the lines have just expanded, and it's a lot of blacky, blotchy looking, all the stuff in the middle just kind of, you know, we talk about this a lot, but you really need, just because you look on the internet and you see a bunch of tattoos and you think you know tattooing because you watch Ink Master or you watch Tattoos in Review, doesn't mean you're an expert in tattooing. If your tattoo artist tells you, look, this is not going to work, now I think at that point the tattoo artist should have been like, yo, I'm not doing it. But hey man, you don't know what that dude was going through at the time. Maybe he needed the money to pay for his kids' diapers that day. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if what I'm getting at is it's just as much on the client, if not more at that point, because you didn't listen to the tattoo artist when they gave you their expert advice. That would be like me going to a freaking surgeon and saying, I don't think you should cut this way when you go to pull out my appendix. You should go this way. And they say, oh, well, we got to go here because of the muscle. No, it's fine. You'll be fine, dude. Don't worry about it. And then they go, all right, well, fuck you then. And they cut it. And then you come back a month later and your stomach is hanging out into your skin because, you know.
Girl comes into the shop, right? Wants a daisy on the bottom of her big toe. It's cute. It's a cute tattoo, right? Daisy on the bottom of the big toe.
No, it looks like a black ball.
No. So I say to her, listen, your feet shed skin, and they're so calloused that tattoo will be gone. It'll just be gone. It won't be there. So the argument ensues. So finally, I make her sign a piece of paper, typed up a piece of paper that said, the tattoo artist has told me that the daisy on the bottom of my big toe will disappear. Right? She signed it. I got the $50 for the big toe tattoo. She came in literally a month later. Tattoo's gone. I'm like, yeah, I know it's gone. Like I told you it was gonna be gone. And I had the paper like under the counter because I don't know, because I'm like that. And I pull it out and I'll show it to her. You know, like I fucking told you.
Dude, what about the you hear all the time about the people that are told over and over and over, like your palm tattoos are not going to work. There you go. Perfect example.
The perfect example is the side finger tattoos. I mean, they look sick when they're done. Nice script word on the side of your fingers.
But then they blotch.
Yeah, completely. And so whenever people come in for side finger tattoos, I say go to Google and look up healed side finger tattoos.
But I've also had that argument with people that, you know, don't want to listen and they want to act like they know everything. And then you say, you know, man, look, that hand tattoo, and you could even do the whole, hey, well, Google it. You'll see plenty of examples of people's palms that are not, it's like half the tattoo's gone or gone completely. And they'll be like, but there's this dude in New York or Jamaica, I'm trying to pick some random spot, in Costa Rica that does these freaking amazing hand tattoos, and they hold, dude, they hold.
So after a certain point,
you just go, fuck you. Right?
It's not, so
I would.
After a certain point, because the argument is, if I don't do the tattoo, are they not going to get the tattoo done? So in tattoos where it hurts the client to wear that, I won't do them. But in tattoos where they're just being dumb and insistent and stubborn,
right?
If someone's going to make the money, I'm going to make the money.
So we got a couple comments in here. Let's knock some of these out. It makes me think about the waivers people have to sign for things like skydiving. I wonder if people tried to start suing artists, if it would just result in more intense signed documentation. In this case, without a waiver, she should be able to sue them for negligence. So I think we agree with that, Sarah. I mean, there's been a bunch of missteps on this part of this shop, this artist, whoever. Not having doing the waiver thing is huge. Calzone wrote, my mom has a side finger tattoo that looks so faded and blotchy. There you go. So there's another person saying the same thing. Sarah said, a simple tattoo on the sole of my foot that I've done 3 times, and it's finally starting to stick a little bit.
I did an Andy across the guy's foot one time. I thought that was cute.
I can appreciate your perseverance there.
So this is the question, though. So even if she does sue the tattoo shop, right, the insurance company has got to agree that they are legally responsible to the artist or the shop owner to fulfill their insurance obligation.
Thank you for bringing that up, man. We almost skipped over that.
Yeah. Which is anybody who's ever gotten into a car accident and then found all the little extra written shit that they didn't pay attention to when they signed the insurance papers.
Yep.
So I don't think she's going to get any money. I think in the end, the insurance company is going to just say,
well, they didn't do their part of this, and this.
Yeah, they didn't fulfill their legal obligation.
Right.
We're not obligated to pay. And he's just going to, the shop is just going to bankrupt the LLC.
Good job bringing that up, dude. We almost breezed right over that, and we actually brought that up before the show, man. That's a solid point, dude. That is, because if it's an LLC, then nothing's going to come out of the dude's pocket. That's the whole point of creating an LLC. So, yeah, I mean, that might be, unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't really see her getting anything, ultimately.
Man, side story real quick. I got burned on that with the not reading the fine print. Some lady hit me on my Harley. And I had just gotten brand new car insurance. And at the time I was living in Jersey. And if you do I forget what it's called, where you sign basically a limited tort or something like that, where you say like you can't sue, so you pay less insurance. And that happened. I switched insurance, forgot to make sure that was part of it, and thinking, oh man, I got a deal on my insurance. I got hit on my bike. And then they said because you had limited tort on your car, it nullifies having full tort on your motorcycle. And I'm not really the type to sue anybody, but there was some bad, injuries that happened, and that person decided to jump out of their car instead of checking to see if we were okay, grabbed her camera and started filming us to the point where the ambulance people arrived. She refused to put her camera away, and then the police came, told her to put her camera away, and they almost arrested her. So I don't know if she was like getting ready to pop that shit on YouTube or what, but like she was filming. And then all of a sudden, magically, 4 dudes pop out of the bushes, and they were like, oh, my back hurts. I was in the car with her. Cops were like, yeah, okay. Speaking of cops.
Treading west.
So Calzone said, had to wait for the cop to go by. Is the artist even under their insurance? I assume the insurance won't cover an unlicensed artist. So you might be also correct there, Calzone, because I believe that would probably be some kind of prerequisite under the insurance policy. So with that, though, real quick, the insurance wouldn't cover each individual artist. It would actually cover the shop. But because that artist didn't have
the body art
card, that might null and void the insurance. And I think that's what Justin was trying to say. Neither one of us are obviously lawyers, so we're probably talking out of our ass, but sounds pretty logical to me. Okay.
So, how much responsibility does the tattoo shop owner bear?
To me,
I mean, did we bring up the whole thing about him trying to help out his friend? I mean, because that was his side of the story, right?
Right, like he knew that the guy had problems or whatever and was trying to help him out and blah,
Thought he
blah,
was,
blah.
yeah. So the
Well,
tattoo shop owner thought the artist, he knew the artist had history, which a lot of tattoo artists do.
yeah,
Let's be frank. And he thought the guy was clean, and he wanted to, give him a shot, help out his friend. But
right.
how responsible is he for not? I mean, that's a lot of tattoo done.
Yeah. Well, Calzone just commented, so I'm assuming Calzone actually read the article as well. Their business license was expired too, I believe. I think it said it in the article. We're getting some nods in the room here that yes, that is actually correct. So, yeah, it looks like there's other bigger, issues here going on, man. And I think at that point, then the shop owner does, hold some burden on this situation. I mean, look, if it was a normal situation where everything was on the up and up, and the dude just came in, banged out, and did a tattoo and snuck in the back door, nobody saw or whatever. If it was one of them situations where, like you had a shop, so you back in the day when like maybe you had an artist, it was like, yo, dude, I got somebody coming in at 10 because it's going to be a couple hours, and so they came in early and started the tattoo, right? That wouldn't fall on you because the dude kind of did it on his own. All your other stuff is up to snuff.
But a guy on TikTok the other day said, "Are you even a shop owner if you've never kicked out an artist for shooting heroin in your bathroom?" I don't think so. And obviously he was an older tattoo shop artist. He was my age.
I was gonna say I was gonna name somebody, but no, I won't do that.
But yeah, I've had to throw out
man, this kind of goes back to, it seems like we talk about this a lot, but times have changed so much in a short period of time with the attitudes, how people talk, the whole attitude of tattoo shops, the lifestyle changes, and I think that me doing that article and doing some research and seeing some interviews with the guy that I'm doing this episode on, man, dude, like it hammered home a lot of that stuff, because we're talking about somebody that started tattooing in 1973
in LA.
That was, tons of bikers and
gangbangers.
Like it was bad. And
yeah,
he just said that
shotgun under the counter.
His only thing that really pissed him off was the fact that there were so many people opening up shops that had no business opening up shops because they were just shitty tattoo artists. And it got easier to open up shops and just be, hey, I want to be a tattoo artist. And they had no business even being an artist, let alone a tattoo artist. Like, they couldn't even draw. They had no artistic ability at all, and they're out there jacking up people's bodies, dude. And that's the part that bothers me the most about that girl is, we're talking about something that is permanent, that's going to be on her possibly for her life. Because even with tattoo removal, man, as dark as that is in some spots, I don't know if that's all coming out.
So the best tattoo removal I've ever seen, oddly enough, was done in Princeton, New Jersey by the Princeton, some plastic surgeon in Princeton. And I mean, it was immaculate. But I mean, I imagine that was about as high end as it gets.
Right, but isn't there also different? I think didn't the girl from Laser Removery tell us that there's certain colors that just won't come out?
Potentially. I don't really exactly remember.
I fairly remember them saying something about like maybe brown or yellow. It's like no matter what you do, it doesn't come out. Like brown, instead of it removing it, will actually just make it black. So obviously that's not brown or anything like that. It looks like it's pretty much just like black. But the bottom line is, that's not even the, the cure for that catastrophe of a tattoo. That looks like a goddamn little kid got a hold of some crayons and wrote on the table, dude. Like, that's freaking bad.
So I knew a guy in Jersey who was, and I mean, I'm not kidding, Buck. He was bodysuited. He'd let a buddy of his practice, and he was sleeved. His hands were done. His neck was done. His legs. I mean, he just let this dude, like, obviously, who'd never picked up a machine before, did told what, he was just covered in this terrible, terrible, terrible work. And he actually had the best hand tattoos I've ever seen. He had the Lincoln assassination on his hands. One hand was John Wilkes Booth coming from behind the curtain, and the other hand was Lincoln getting his brains blown out. When he put them together, it was the assassination. But what was the point? What was the point of that?
Shitty tattoos, whole body suit of shitty tattoos.
Yeah, whole body suit of shitty tattoos.
You know, when I actually, when I think of that, like when I think of people that are walking around with really bad tattoos, like the first person that really comes to mind for me is, and I don't know why, but Jack Dracula.
Yeah.
Dude, he had some really good work on him from Brooklyn Blackie. But that shit that he had, them goggles that he had tattooed on his face, bro, what the fuck were you thinking, dude?
Because the story is that...
While you're doing that, I'm going to see if I can pull a picture up of Jack Dracula, just so there's some people out here that might not know who we're talking about.
The story is that Jack tattooed in Coney Island, and he ended up falling in with like some of the local circus freaks, or some of the local freak show guys, and they talked him into getting his face tattooed. So he got an eagle on his forehead, and because he was a reader, he got glasses done. There's Mr. Dracula there.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to.
The one where he's laying down is a pretty good picture.
Yeah.
Bottom row there.
It's big enough. All right, cool. So I'm gonna see if I can pull this up so you guys can see it. Oh, there we go. You can see it. Yeah, so like the eagle and stuff that are on his chest and some other of his tattoos were really good tattoos that were done by Brooklyn Blackie back in the day. And I know it doesn't look like it in this picture, but that crap that he's got on his face, dude, I'm like, whoa, bro. And he, oh, I gotta not do that. Here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this one, like his face, those goggles.
The story is that he was a reader. He loved to read, so he was always pushing his
apparently,
glasses
dude,
up.
he was very smart from what I understand. Like he was like really like uber smart, read a lot of books, but like he lived under the one roller coaster up on Coney Island. Like he was living like a complete like vagabond, and he went out of his way to move to every town that Philadelphia Eddie.
He had a grudge against him, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
he wouldn't tattoo him back in the day in Coney Island or something like that.
Threw him out of the shop.
That's what it was.
Yeah, so Eddie's story was that everybody was coming in to stare at Jack, and Eddie was like, "We can't get any work done."
Right.
So you got to go.
A sideshow.
Yeah, you got to go. I think the story of the Lincoln assassination guy, the whole point of that was, so here's a dude that because he just was interested in volumes of tattoos, like getting his body covered, he had no concern with the quality of it. He's going to walk around with shitty tattoos like for the rest of his life.
I mean, like Enigma. That dude's walking around with puzzle pieces
all over.
Come on, man. Like, dude, I actually saw there's a guy that's going around the country right now who is he started out with this like honeycomb looking outline. And what he's doing is he's going around the country, and each one of the honeycombs, he's having a tattoo artist do a cool little tattoo. That's cool. But to make yourself look like the, a puzzle.
And
that's the same color.
Well, he was all right. I met him a couple times.
I'm not saying he's not an all right dude, but
he was on the X-Files. And the funny thing is even guys, I think, that have rough work, but it's like tight. You know what I mean? Like that's its own kind of,
Yeah. It's just like, it's a look.
Yeah, you see a guy that's got maybe not the most refined tattoo work, but it's well placed and it looks good.
And we're not talking about ignorant tattoos. That's a whole other story that I'm actually going to try to make a video about, because that to me is just like, bro, but somebody actually said there's a difference between ignorant work and lazy tattooers. Because apparently there's people out there that are just shitty tattoo artists that are just trying to push it, saying they're lazy, they're ignorant tattooers. That's a style. It almost looks like stick figure people. Sarah said, I'm sure laser could take it all out, but it would take a very, very long time. I know green won't laser out. So there you go. So that's what I was saying. I knew there was some colors that I said, I think yellow too for some reason, which doesn't make sense because yellow fades pretty quick. Drag said blackout, it works to cover up. Yeah, and then Calzone just said some people don't like blackout tattoos. If it's an older woman just getting a basic tattoo, I doubt she'd want blackout. Yes, please make a video about ignorant tattoos. I'm going to. I actually found the guy's name and everything that started the whole trend, and he was actually a freaking amazing graffiti artist that did it as a joke, and it snowballed into this whole thing, and I'm going to try to get into that, but I got to watch what I'm doing. I'm trying not to piss too many people off.
So it's funny, man. The other day, I think yesterday I was tattooing this 20-something-year-old girl, and there was another person in the shop, and the conversation came up between the two of them of, well, I tried to start tattooing. I was thinking about tattooing, and one of them said to the other, oh, what did you just send away for a machine on Amazon? And yeah, absolutely. The girl I was tattooing was, yeah, sure I did. Just sent away for one of the 12 machines for $64 deals. You know what I mean? And I didn't say anything. It's all good. You know what I mean? But is it like a disservice, man? Is it a disservice to make, I mean, to put machines in the hand, I mean, I don't know how to say it.
I think that what I don't agree with is obviously if there's people out there that want to step up to the plate and they want to be the guinea pig for somebody that's serving an apprenticeship or whatever, cool, that's your deal, that's fine. But if you're out there just being a scratcher and you're just jacking people's arms up, legs up, whatever. First of all, not only are you getting horrible tattoos that you're going to have to live with for the rest of your life, but then you're also really not, being tattooed in an environment that's probably, I don't want to say sterile because I don't think any environment's really sterile 100%, but an unclean environment, let's put it that way. Like, you hear about people all the time that, have tattoo parties and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm not getting tattooed on somebody's kitchen table. And I know you did in your past or whatever, but there's people that are still doing it in this day and age, dude. And, there's the first guy goes up and he gets tattooed, and then the next guy goes and sits down and they don't wipe it down properly, and that dude before me had hep or freaking AIDS. Or
now everybody has hepatitis.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
It's like, dude, why would you even want to put yourself in that position just to get a cheap tattoo? You don't need a tattoo that bad.
So if you're local, and you want a tattoo, the one thing you can do is you can always come in the shop and I will show you how to work clean. I won't show you anything else. I won't show you how to set your machines. But I'll show you how to keep yourself and other people safe.
You give a shit about having people,
just be
being safe, dude, yeah. and not having it ruin the industry. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is, and we all know it was bullshit, I did an episode on it. Dude, they tried pinning the whole hep thing on tattoo artists, and it was not even proven in New York City. And New York City was banned for freaking
40 years.
Yeah, dude, like, and that's all it takes. So why would you want to mess it up for the rest of the people out there that are doing everything the right way? That's where I don't get, man. Just so you could get a shitty $20 tattoo that isn't going to last or is not going to look right anyway? I don't know, man. So the amount of people I know who regret their tattoos that they got at 15 from their friends in a basement of a house.
Who did that sort of shit?
Amazon selling tattoo kits with no age regulations is insane.
Yes.
Sarah, that was Calzone, and Sarah just said, when I spoke to a tattoo artist about how to become an apprentice, she recommended getting a machine and practicing on fake skin and fruit. And drawing a lot, of course.
I would say drawing a lot.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the whole idea of just going around to shops and finding people that you're like that you just click with.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I've been told, you know, because I'm from a generation. The guys that came before me wouldn't even let me fix my own fucking machines.
Right.
They would take my machines in the back room and fix them for me. They were so stingy with their knowledge.
Right.
So I understand the frustration, but at the same time, I can't tell you how many times I've been sitting around a tattoo shop with some of my friends, and one of the guys just goes, "Oh yeah, I did it like this," and that's not even, you know, that's just having friends and being a stand-up guy and people having respect for you, you know.
I think we touched on some pretty cool topics tonight, man.
We did.
Hopefully we kept it moving enough where we kept it enjoyable for everybody that's watching. And thank you for smashing the like button for the people out there that did that. Much appreciated.
And if you're watching this during the week, we really are interested in everybody's input on this particular case. And it's going to be important.
Yeah, and this thing is I think it's like 4 days old, so it's going to be popping up on your timeline here a lot, especially if you're doing a lot of searching for tattoos and stuff like that. So it's definitely going to be showing up, and I'm sure this is going to get hashed out a bunch more times. But let's get into tattoo shows that are coming up. You want to do your
Yes. I am going to be tattooing with my friends from Magnolia in Jersey, and I'm going to be tattooing at the Asbury Park Tattoo Fest, June 21st, 22nd, and 23rd.
So there we go. Asbury Park. I don't see, you'll probably not be able to see it, but anybody's local, check that out. And we got some other ones on here that we're going to share real quick just to go down the list. First one up is the first annual New York City TatCon, which I'm amped about going to. And that is July 26th through the 28th at the Terminal 5 in New York City. If anybody's local and wants to check that out.
This just keeps coming up on my Instagram, and it just keeps getting better and better and better.
Yeah. The artist list is freaking unreal, man. I can't wait just to, see some of these people. Next one up is Pagoda City, and it's basically Reading, PA, but this is another very, very well-known tattoo convention where people come from not only all over the nation, but there's people from, different countries that come to this just because it's that good of a convention. August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in Morgantown, PA.
It really was I might end up going to both, but it was sort of a pop-up. If I wasn't going to go to one, I was going to go to the other.
Yeah, so it's tough because it's
close.
New York is the week before this one. And then the Norfolk Tattoo Expo in October 17th through the 20th in Norfolk, Virginia, man. This is a old school tattoo convention with a bunch of old school tattoo guys, a bunch of legends, man. Good Time Charlie, JD Crow, Dana Brunson, Crooked Ken, I'm just spitting people off the top of my head that I know of that are going to be there. Eric Perfect, Baba, dude, huge list of legends are going to be there for this show. So if you're looking for stuff to do, man, there's definitely a bunch of great tattoo shows coming up within this year. So
that's a great picture of Paul Rogers on the flyer too.
Yeah, man. I'm actually trying to figure out. Apparently, I think there is something that is
I'm kidding.
set up. Yeah, Paul Rogers, Cap Coleman.
Cap Coleman.
But there is a because I went right into what I was trying to say.
Right.
So I think there is actually a museum or something set up where Cap Coleman had that shop in Norfolk, and I've been trying to Google it, so I'm kind of hoping that like if I hit up JD or whatever, they'd be able to tell me. But they did post a really cool thing, where they showed a graveyard that had like all these. That's kind of morbid and whatever, but I dig that kind of stuff. So, but it had where all the tattoo artists are buried in this one graveyard, and dude, it's like a pretty good like list of who's who from historical figures.
You know that Coleman would, if he got tired, he wouldn't finish a tattoo. He'd tell you to come back tomorrow. So if he was doing like a big chest eagle, and he got tired, and he had one wing left, he'd just be like, bah.
Yeah, man.
Come back tomorrow.
I want to do I want to do an episode on him, man. I've heard some crazy stories about him, and
so the craziest thing I know about Coleman is that his bodysuit was hand poked by his father.
Oh wow.
His father was a hand poke tattooer. So when you see pictures of him covered from head to toe in tattoo, that's all.
Yeah, the dude with the.
That's all hand poked.
Actually, no, they were doing the actual stick, right? Back then.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because I think most of the tribal or like Polynesian and that, even the Japanese, they do where they tap on the stick.
Yeah, the Polynesian guys tap on the stick. The Japanese push.
Right. So, and I think that's
which will be at the New York show.
I think that most of the people in America that were doing that back in the day were doing the push.
With the pushing.
So. Awesome. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Much appreciated. Thank you to all our subscribers. We can't do this without you. And we thank you for stopping by tonight and joining us. It was good to have you back, dude.
Yeah, it was good to be back.
It was rough last week, dude, by myself, trying to talk the whole time. I got done, man. I couldn't even talk. Like, I was all hoarse. Hoarse? Yeah.
Horse?
Yeah, dude, my vote, I'm not used to talking that much, dude. It's freaking... Social D is October 13th.
October 13th.
Oh, so it's the week before I go to Norfolk.
That'll be my 7th time seeing them, I think.
Right on. Awesome. Thank you all for coming out.